I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What do you mean, calm it down? It's a fight. Referees telling two fighters who want to fight to calm it down? You should calm down.
So he's like a clown in his show, man. He's not your guy.
Because Tyson Fury's back, and all you motherfuckers are under attack. Look, Eddie Hearn can say all what he likes. Who gives a shit what Eddie Hearn says? It's garbage.
Are you off your tits? Have you been smoking something?
Can you let me retire and be happy? Please, just please.
Bombs away from the Bronx Bomber! Wanda! Let's go, baby! Let's go!
I'm through. They put somebody else up and give me an interview.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You never give me a fair shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You ain't shit. You're not shit.
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
I got dropped, man. Are you kidding?
No, you won the fight.
OMG, I am so excited.
Any of you radio personalities think you want smoke? Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
Yes. What is up, MCR family? It's finally here. We can finally talk about some news. News is finally official. We can stop talking about Mike Coppinger and Dan Rayfield beefing on Twitter, but although we can still talk about it because they were beefing last night, and it was hilarious. Digressing, though, I'm Matt Tips Hunter. This is Mixed Combat Radio. Obviously, it's AJ Miller official announcement show, so to speak. Hit the like button, share the show, subscribe, listen on podcast form, drop that 5-star review, call in 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. For our international, add Mixed Combat Radio on Skype to call in live during the show. But obviously, like I said, it's AJ Miller announcement show. It's news. It's finally here. It's official. Let me get the soundbite, Rob. You know what soundbite I'm going to go for. You know, as I'm pulling it up here. Yes, it's here, guys. It's finally done with. We can put it past us. It's okay. I feel like we've had like PTSD for months now when it comes to tweets about fights happening on certain days and being announced certain days, and we just never have that happen occasionally. But anyways, digressing. Like I said, AJ Miller announcement. I'm obviously joined today as usual by the illustrious Mr. Robbie Hearns himself, second cousin twice removed. Unfortunately, Fugatti could not join us today on the show because his PC decided to crap out. # get a Mac. But anyways, Rob, how you doing today? And obviously, you were sporting your AJ shirt. You're happy, you got the fitted on, you're set to go. What's up with you, man? Obviously, you're in a celebration mode, I'm assuming.
Yeah, a little fluey, a little bit of a cold, but yeah, the day has finally come where we have a heavyweight announcement on a fight being made official. So yeah, I don't want to queue up that same soundbite, but yeah, yeah, shout out to. If I'm Robbie Hearn, let's just take a minute and bow our heads for Fugatti Warren with his old ass fucking laptop.
Or Fugatti Aram. Fugatti Aram is another one.
Fugatti Aram. Yeah, maybe.
Especially since he's a top rank, fanboy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true. But yeah, it's finally here. We have the announcement, so yeah, we can talk about how it's. What's been said, what's sort of come in, Eddie's interview where he's given details of the undercard potentially, and some more information for White Brazil, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So yeah, let's get into it.
And as getting into it, let's get to actually AJ's own words about this announcement. And like I said, it's official. It's finally here. And let's hear AJ's words on it.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to fight fans and sports fans from across the world. I hope you're all well. I just wanted to give you a quick update of what's happening in the current heavyweight division. I'm going to be traveling over to New York on June the 1st. I'm going to be defending my heavyweight championship titles at MSG, aka Madison Square Gardens, against a fighter named Jarrell Miller, aka Big Baby Miller. It's going to be live on DAZN. It's going to be live on Sky Sports. The current state of the heavyweight division right now is full of boxing politics. You know how it goes. I just got to roll with the punches. I would have loved to fight at Wembley Stadium and brought you guys the undisputed championship of the world. But I'm looking forward to the new challenges. 2019, asked for new challenges, and this is one of them that's presented itself. So if you want more information, head over to my YouTube channel as well. I've done a longer video.
Nice plug.
And yeah, my feet are firmly on the ground. I'm not looking too far ahead. I'm looking forward to the challenge. New York, we're coming for that W. Peace.
Rob, I do love the plug at the end. Like, hey, I now have a YouTube channel. Go subscribe. I can't wait till AJ. Not that he's gonna do the Mayweather route of like he's gonna beef with Eddie like Mayweather beef with Bob Arum, but AJ is gonna like outgrow Matchroom at some point in the next probably 5 years or so. It's gonna be interesting to see him do that. But anyways, that's a complete rabbit hole for a discussion for a different time, 5 years down the line. But just wanted to briefly mention that you can tell that he's aware of that in some capacity. But digressing, the fight's here. I just want to say I like the fight. I've always liked the fight. I don't think it's the best fight to make, but in terms of best fight meaning and defining that as in like most competitive fight to make. But this one is obviously the best fight to make to bring AJ to the U.S., to have a debut fight in this market. Miller is made for AJ and made to be a foil to AJ. I definitely just am hyped for this. I am. Like I was watching their beef or sort of fracas, so to speak, at the DAZN announcement, months back now. Watching the sporting news interview with Andreas Hale and AJ about, Miller saying he's going to take his mom out to a date, and seeing AJ react to that in live time, where he can't, go and talk to his PR people and developed a persona and orchestrate it a little better. That was raw. I think with this fight, you're going to see a lot of those moments, so to speak, with these two. I can't wait for it in a lot of ways, regardless of me thinking that this is a pretty one-sided matchup. Like, we were going to have exciting moments within the fight, but I think ultimately AJ is too good. I think he's too strong, and I think the size difference won't be as much of a factor as some might think. But Rob, sort of your, brief thoughts about the matchup itself, like now that it's official, now that, really discuss it as if it is happening, because it is happening. Before it was always with the hedging of, oh, maybe it's White, maybe they slip White in all of a sudden, or maybe it's a Klitschko rematch, because that was sort of bandied about for a bit. Like now we can actually talk about Miller being the legitimate, realistic, and actual fight happening for AJ. Your thoughts on it?
Yeah, look, I mean, I've seen a whole bunch of criticism for it. Bringing up, there was I remember when they done the two Wembley dates, pre-booked them a lot, and that's came up again, that AJ staying home April 13th. But as we know, Fury and Wilder are fighting. Dillian White has turned down like three offers or whatever. So I mean, who's the next best opponent? He's faced like the Povetkians, like you said, to go over to make your US debut, try to ingratiate yourself with the American market, the American fans. I think, like you say, Big Baby's kind of almost like made perfectly for this. It's an opponent that, he's maybe untested, but I think he'll be durable. It'll give a good fight. I think obviously he's going to sell the shit out of this fight and do everything in his power to rattle and bring out a different side in AJ. Whether that's wise, I don't know. But like you said with that interview, when the guy said, "Oh, what do you think about him saying he's going to take your mum out on a date?" And like you say, it was an instant like, "Wait, what?" He said, "What?" And then it was a proper like woosah, like count to 10, try and compose yourself. He was taken aback from it. So it was never my first choice for his opponent, to be the opponent.
It was mine, just for reference. It was mine for those listening.
Yeah, but in my mind and how I'm feeling about it now, yes, still not the greatest fight, but I'm kind of intrigued and sort of excited about him making his American debut, and just seeing him, it's something new. It's a whole new sort of chapter, I guess. So I'm really looking forward to that. And very quick, you brought up about the good plug for his Joshua's YouTube channel. Just the last week, they've uploaded like all 4 fights of Joshua's career, all the different opponents leading up. And at the end of his, if you went and checked out his message on the YouTube channel, sort of announcing the fight as well, you'll like this, Matt. He even did at the very end. So hit that thumbs up, comment, share, subscribe. He done the whole YouTuber sales pitch at the end. So yeah, it is what it is. We've got the fight. We know. So I guess at some point fairly soon we're going to get the Wilder Fury announcement. A lot of people's opinion is they've been sitting on this waiting for Joshua to announce, and almost like vice versa. I think it was always going to be Joshua and Hearn and all that came first.
I think it really doesn't matter.
No. But that seems to be a sort of general consensus that Miller and Wilder and Fury are probably done. They're just waiting for Joshua to announce, and then they'll come out with theirs and try to steal some of the shine or their thunder and things like that. But yeah, at last, part of the puzzle is sort of made, and we can look forward to a few more getting slotted in, and just this heavyweight division finally getting back on some kind of track. But yeah,
I mentioned this like way back when like the negotiations first started, that AJ and in a sense the Wilder Fury saga is sort of on that same pedestal right now. Like it reminds me of when like Mayweather or Pacquiao would be in the negotiation process, and the entire division basically shut down until that was figured out, right? Like it didn't matter if you weren't getting the fight. If you were a top 15 guy, top 20 guy, you didn't do anything. You didn't move a muscle until you heard about what Mayweather and Pacquiao were doing. The heavyweight division is like that now with AJ, and then obviously in a sense Wilder Fury, and whether that rematch was going to happen. Now, like you said, obviously I think the division starts rolling again. We've had a few months of just inactivity in a sense, not a lot of news being announced, but now we have Brazil White being ordered, both guys saying that they want it. Obviously, we can get to more of those details later in the show. AJ Miller now is announced and official, as firmly official, unlike Brazil and White. And it seems like Wilder and Fury is all but official, and we're going to get an announcement within the next week or so. All those matchups are great matchups that clean up the heavyweight division at the top. I don't see why anyone would be upset with the way the heavyweight division is turning out right now. The next 6 months should be fantastic for this division. Rob, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, like I say, we've got an announcement now, so the rest of the division can kind of pan out. People can react to it. People can go ahead with their plans. I know Ortiz was like, if the Miller fight falls through, I'll jump in and step on that. But he's obviously got the Christian Hammer fight. We know kind of Ortiz's sort of path, or his at least his next fight. We know White and Brazil has been ordered. We've got a little bit of news on that shortly. Obviously Wilder Fury. Now the only thing is, like with Brazil, White being ordered, do they fight the winner of Wilder Fury next? That's to be decided. Will it be a trilogy with Wilder Fury? If Wilder wins, will it sort of mean that the undisputed fight maybe comes around sooner, because that would take precedence over the mandatory? And so potentially White's got himself in a good position if he wins, but it could still be a long time before he actually gets to fight Wilder for that bout. But as it stands, we know what Joshua's doing. We know what Wilder and Tyson Fury are doing, which are the main three, obviously, in the division.
Let's quickly just touch on those two fights, since we're talking about them all sort of in unison right now, and there are some sort of points or specifics I want to get to. Check out the Dan Raphael article on ESPN about Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. Basically, Shelly Finkel coming out and saying, fight should be announced at the end of the week. Blah blah blah. It's basically the same thing we've been hearing for a while now. The fight's going to be announced at some point in the later future. Of course, I don't think the fight isn't happening, but the fight's not official now, so I don't really if there's any more to say about that. Just that the purse bid is postponed again. They still have another week or so. That is how it is. Also, per Michael Benson, told by the WBC that if it goes to purse bid, the split of Dylan White, Dominic Brazil would likely be 50-50. They could still change this at their discretion, but as things stand, it'd be 50-50. Again, I think if you're White or Brazil and you're looking at a purse bid at 50-50 for an interim title for the WBC, and you're two competing promoters in a sense, that's big money in your pockets coming up. Even if they make a deal before the purse bid, that's still going to be a lot of money. So I think everyone should be happy. Fights are good. Everyone's getting bank. Everyone should be happy.
I mean, very quickly on that, I think Eddie Hearn said that they might be sort of contacting the WBC because White has been sat in the number one position for almost 2 years now. So potentially that he would maybe get a lion's share of a split. But he said, hopefully we could come to a deal first. He said, I'd love to bring the fight to the UK, but if it's in America, kind of like fine. But I don't know. I think White and Eddie have spoken, and they tend to think that he's worth more than Brazil, which potentially, White does pay-per-views here. He's maybe, because of certain things, maybe more known than Brazil. I don't know. But so that's just an arguable point, I guess, whether people think someone's worth a little bit more in negotiations. But again, we're going to get into, the business side and who's worth for this, that, and the other.
I'll put it this way. I'm okay with like going into those weeds when it's like AJ and Wilder, right?
Yeah.
Brazil White, I don't give a fuck what you guys are making. Just give the fight. Like I really will not discuss the business with those two. Like I stopped caring once you get around 5 and 7 ranked guys in the division. I'm like, you know what? Just fight. You guys are still gonna make bank. Relax.
Yeah.
You fight.
And you keep winning. You end up fighting one of the guys where the money is more of a talking point. I guess.
Yeah. And then I'll talk about if Brazil fights AJ again or Wilder. We're going to talk about the money. We're going to have to. Otherwise, could care less right now with Brazil White. It's been ordered. It's a 50-50 split right now. If it's purse bid, either negotiate or go to purse bid. Either way, I don't care. You guys are the third tier fight right now in the division. Understand that.
I'm sure Mike Coppinger will come out with the news and Dan Rayfield will jump on it and all that kind of good stuff.
Oh, of course. I mean, you want to talk about your boy Dan?
I'll have to quickly find
send me that link again. We can talk about that like towards the end of the show. But God,
I'll find it for later.
Yeah, find it for later because man, Mike Coppinger versus Dan Rayfield. I'm telling you, people, is the most entertaining beef in all of boxing. Not just boxing media. No, it is the best. It is hilarious. Anyways, digressing. Per IFL interview with Eddie Hearn, today's purse bid with Vasily Lomachenko and Anthony Corolla. Also, I really want us to dial in whether it's Vasily or Vasil. I know it's been changing back and forth with every whim of the day. Please decide. It makes my job so much easier. And reporters' jobs so much easier. Digressing, saying that purse bid has been postponed again as negotiations are ongoing. The new purse bid is scheduled for next week, Wednesday, February 20th, for all those that want to know those particular information. Rob, also one of those news stories where, yes, purse bid's postponed, same with Wilder Fury, but I don't think the fight's not happening. I think we're still getting the fight. I think this is even an indicator that the fight is happening, and they're trying to work out a better deal. For obvious reasons. I mean, Corolla's attached to Eddie Hearn. There's a DAZN connection there in some way. Lomachenko is obviously ESPN's number 2 boxer. There's going to be some negotiation that has to be done. And I think that Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn don't necessarily want this to go to purse bid because it's also a fight that they don't want to pay or overpay because they know what it is. Like, Eddie's not going to overpay for a Corolla fight potentially on a purse bid because he knows Corolla's not going to win. It's a one-time get. You know what I mean? With the Hooker-Saucedo fight, Bob Arum really went out of his way to get that fight because he thought Saucedo would beat Hooker. And he thought he would have a champion in his ranks, right, in a long term. I know it's funny because obviously Hooker whooped that ass, but that's the thought process behind it. I think Eddie isn't really going to be pushing for a purse bid in this situation because it's not a long-term potential gain. It's a short-term one fight you would get on the zone. I just don't see why you would waste potential money on this sort of fight. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you might convince me otherwise, Rob. I know this is, again, a minute point of this fight, but one that I would assume Bob Arum and Eddie Hearn, respectively, are thinking about a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if Eddie might overdo it just to put Lomachenko on DAZN. You know, at the end of the day, he's a businessman. I know he's got to do right by Crolla. So if he's overpaying, he's giving Crolla a hell of a payday, and he's getting Lomachenko on, their app, their service.
Again, my point is, I understand that, but the point is, like, you would be paying a lot for one fight because Crolla and Eddie must know Crolla's not winning that fight, right? Like, you're trying to get your guy a big paycheck, which he is, right? And I think regardless, Crolla's going to get a big paycheck. But are you going to risk your a big lion's share of your budget, your yearly budget for this fight? That's a one-off, so to speak.
No, I get you. Yeah. No, I understand. We'll see. Obviously, the purse bid's been delayed, and they're talking. So, obviously, on a personal note, I'd love Lomachenko to come over here. He's expressed interest in the past of wanting to come and fight in the UK, and maybe it still does, but it's still over on ESPN Plus, maybe in the States. But if it does go to purse bids, obviously, Bob will want to do everything to make sure Loma is, stays on the network, and that will obviously benefit Crolla, even in this assumed defeat that you're saying.
I wonder if the negotiation leverage or sort of angle, if you're Eddie, would be, hey, Bobby, my dad, like, we're all friends here. I'll give you the fight on ESPN or ESPN Plus. Like, I'll give you the platform, right? But I want the fight in the UK. Like, that might be the argument he would make, or the angle. And that's one I would take, honestly. If you're Bob Arum, why not take that up? I mean, you worry about Eddie start selling tickets. You worry about Eddie filling out the venue. And it's an ESPN Plus event right there that's, built and made. And you are pushing ESPN Plus. I mean, ESPN and ABC/Disney, they see a lot of value now in the streaming services. Disney Plus will be launching, I think, in the next 12 months, even though I still don't think there's an official date for that. But that's going to be, Disney's official streaming service, combined with ESPN Plus in some capacity or some coordination. So that's something to look out for. I think Bob and that conglomerate are going to be completely okay with putting a Lomachenko fight in the UK if they get ESPN rights in the US. But digressing, Rob, any last thoughts on Loma, Crolla, and your man obviously losing viciously, probably?
Well, we'll see. No, just obviously we know Comey injured, and this is it's came about from this. So I know a lot of people have seen this as a massive downgrade from seeing a unification with Comey, but we're heading this way, and it's good that they're talking, and that a purse bid's been delayed. And like you say, it's probably something along the lines that you said, like we want it in the UK, but you can have it on ESPN Plus or ESPN. So sort of win-win for everybody, I guess, kind of thing. So the only thing I guess would be the time of day that you guys are going to be watching Lomachenko. That might be again something that Bob would be arguing. It's just, well, look, 5 p.m. Eastern time start isn't really great for us, but
that's what the ESPN Plus platform is built for. Is to have offbeat times for high quality content. Is to give you that flexibility where you're not constrained by TV scheduling.
I just still feel there's some kind of even though it's a streaming app, there is obviously a prime time.
No, of course there is. There's reason like the UFC, the first ESPN Plus UFC event was prime time, right? Like there's a reason why there is that, right? Like there's a reason Jeff Horn, Terrence Crawford, ESPN Plus fight, prime time in the US, right? But if you have a fight where you can take it internationally and it might actually service it to take it in an international way, then ESPN Plus allows you to do that and accommodate both marketplaces quite well. And also, I do think that not that the non-primetime factor is an overrated factor, but I think when you're talking about a guy like Lomachenko who does numbers regardless, on top of it being a streaming app, like that's what, like the consumer knows that. Like it knows to not expect things on a TV schedule with a streaming app. That why, shoehorn a fight that's not made for that in that, in those parameters. It just seems odd to me to do that. Is Bob Arum a old curmudgeon that he might not think about this thing or these things? Absolutely. The guy is like 90 years old. He smokes a lot of weed. Like, it is okay. But like Carl Moretti, Todd Buff, like those guys should know how to work this. It should be easy.
Yeah, no, I mean, maybe it's not even on Plus. I mean, I know they've haven't they seesawed between Crawford and Loma, who's been on Plus on the app?
Well, I'm saying if this fight's in the UK and it's off prime time,
I
doubt it's on ESPN. I think it's been on ESPN Plus, just like most of their international events. And also remember, Top Rank technically owes ESPN/ESPN Plus more international events.
I
should specify ESPN Plus specifically. The ESPN deal is not separate, but there's different requirements in terms of number of events. But I forget the exact. I think it was like maybe 6 or 8 primetime ESPN Plus events, and then it was like 12 or 16 international events. I think is what they are owed to ESPN Plus. So again, Lomachenko sort of fulfills a lot of categories for you. He's going to draw numbers to ESPN Plus. He can draw subscribers there, which can make ESPN happy with Bob Arum and Top Rank. On top of that, you accommodate Eddie Hearn. You put the fight in the UK. You're going to sell more tickets over there. It's going to be a better crowd, better atmosphere. And also, Corolla is a guy that has brought U.S. commodities to the UK before, Linares. He did that twice. I think that sort of boosted Linares' career for a bit. I honestly think that. Why not give, it's weird to say this, why not give Loma the UK/Corolla rub in a way, because obviously I think it did some help for Linares. It's the same with like, why should AJ go to the U.S.? Why not? It's another marketplace. It's another demographic of people, and it's another consumer base to make money off of. Why not do that? Same with fighters going to the UK. Why not go to a marketplace that's booming, that's going to make you money, that's going to build you another demographic of fans? Why not do that? And as far as I know, I don't think Loma's fought in the UK. So, yeah, put this fight in Manchester. Let's go.
Yeah. So, that's good. I mean, where were you going next, Matt? What was next? Because we sort of did White Brazil, but we didn't mention it's super unlikely for April 20th.
Oh, we did not mention that. We can mention that right now. But briefly, before we do, call in 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. Gary, you better call in and talk about Big Baby's one-punch knockout power. And international callers, if you guys want to complain or bitch about any of these matchups or say that it should have been White or that AJ doesn't need to come to the U.S., call in via Skype. Add Mixed Combat Radio on Skype. Digressing. White Brazil not looking likely for that April 20th date in the O2. My immediate thoughts when I heard that, because you kind of told me right before air that was happening, or not happening, I should say. I thought, okay, Parker Chisora, main event, non-pay-per-view. That's what I'm thinking right now for that O2 date. That just makes the most sense to me. And White Brazil, just because it's not done, because it's a personal situation, that's just up in the air. I don't think it's too like they've cut out the window to make that fight for April 20th, but I think they're just looking at other options now. Looking at maybe later dates, because obviously if that fight's in the UK and maybe even if the fight's in the US, it's still Sky pay-per-view. It's still Sky, box office. Rob, you had a question look there. If White Brazil is in the US, is that still pay-per-view in your mind? I threw that out there because it's, to me it seems obvious, but I don't know if it is as such.
It's probably obvious in the fact that he's been pay-per-view the last few fights,
and they've done well.
They've done reasonably well, but I don't know about White selling at 4 a.m. Because Brazil's not selling any. It's not Brazil attached. That's any kind of a draw. It's, if you're going to watch it, it's because you know Dillian White, right? So, but at 3, 4 a.m, depending where it lands. If it's New York, it might be like 2 or 3 in the morning, maybe, or if it's more West Coast or Vegas, which I can't see because it's not. I don't think it's a massive fight. I don't think it's a big fight in America, to be honest.
No, it's not. It's not.
So I don't know. I'd be kind of doubtful. I would like to think Cousin Eddie wouldn't try and charge people for that if it was in America.
Now, quickly,
I fully expect it if it's in the UK. Don't get me wrong. It would be.
So that's what I want to ask you. So do we even think that it happens in the U.S.? Because I don't think it happens in the U.S. Do you?
I don't think it makes.
Okay, then we don't really need to discuss it that much. If we both don't think it happens in the U.S., then I don't think it will. I think
the only way it does is if I think
purse bid situation.
It's a purse bids and PBC don't want to lose a fight to Eddie Hearn in some way. But I think, to be honest, I think
this fight's not going to be on Showtime. By the way, people, we can let everyone know. That's my guess. It's not. I'm not saying like I have news and information, speculation, but I think this fight's going to end up on Showtime.
I mean, look, Dillian White is shown
because of the Brazil connection. Obviously, White Chisora was already on Showtime.
Yeah, and I think obviously Dillian White has shown he's kind of master of his own destiny now. He's been out there, he's discussed things, he's spoken to Espinoza, he's spoken to whoever, all the other entities. And
he has much more autonomy from Eddie Hearn than I think previously thought. I would say that's probably safe to assume.
Yeah, I mean, I know when it came out, like, oh, Dillian White's on a fight-by-fight deal. Wow, that's pretty much everyone. Like, there's not many that have signed a X amount of fights deal at Matchroom. It's kind of
young guys do. That's about it right now.
That
seems usual right now for everyone, right? Like across the board, except for a few guys. Like Crawford has a big ESPN / Top Rank deal. Like I think even Loma does. Like there's a few people that have big sort of quote exclusive deals to promoters / networks, but it's very few, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, look, DAZN, we hear when they make a Matchroom USA signing, they've signed a 3-fight deal, maybe, or whatever. But as we've seen, Beterbiev did that, and he's gone elsewhere. So, but yeah, as for Dillian White, I mean, Eddie mentioned possibly like July for the Brazil fight. So it's
get that
a bit of a way off, obviously.
Yeah, ways off, especially with like it's seeming that. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but like Wilder, Fury, and AJ Miller are going to be way before that potentially. Like Wilder Fury should be in May, it seems. It should be not weird, but it's gonna be weird to have like White Brazil, like the clear #1 contender fight, be far later than those two fights. So it makes me think, man, the winner of White Brazil is gonna get screwed over again. Not because of corruption, but just bad timing.
It probably will be because of corruption, but. I'm joking. I'm fucking around. No, yeah. I mean, I feel already that if say White wins or Brazil, obviously or Brazil wins, I still think it's a long time before they get their shot at the WBC title
next year. It's next year.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? There could be a trilogy with Fury. There could be the Joshua fight could be in there, or the Miller fight.
It's funny. I think the winner of White Brazil has a better chance of facing like AJ this year than Wilder, even though technically it's for the WBC mandatory. Just because, like you said, I think, damn, like how do we not get a Wilder Fury trilogy? Like they're making so much money. Those are fun fights. They seem to have little issue really negotiating with each other. I know it's been a longer process for this one, but I don't think they're having issues. You know what I mean? Like I don't think. It's not like AJ Wilder negotiations compared to Wilder Fury negotiations are diametrically different in terms of tone.
Yeah,
right.
I guess, but I don't know. Eddie Hearn is interviewed way more than anybody else, and he just can't stop talking.
Hey, Frank Warren, don't discredit your boy Frankie there, man. He's done a lot of interviews, like especially like a month or two ago with Wilder Fury. You know that.
Yeah. I mean, when he's seen and that he's asked, but he's very much more willing to say, look, we're talking. We're talking. It doesn't go, oh, Shelley Finkel this, or
well, yeah, Eddie has he likes the stage.
Yeah, Eddie can't help but talk, and sometimes he says too much. Like recently, it was they were doing one with his dad, and then Eddie come and hijacked the interview, and it turned into Shirley Winkle again. He went, I'm sick of that fucker. And it's like, well, stuff like that possibly doesn't help, if, all right, I'm a fucker. Okay, well, we're done talking. Not that he's been replying, but you know what I mean. But whereas Warren, I think, keeps things more like you're on a need-to-know basis and you don't need to know. So that kind of thing. So there may be issues. There may have been issues. Maybe it's getting close, but they've done a very good job of keeping it quiet. We just haven't heard anything.
And overall, very cordial, I would say. Like, I haven't seen Shelley go out and like demean Frank Warren like he did Eddie Hearn, and vice versa. Like, I didn't see Frank Warren go out and demean Shelley Finkel or Wilder in the process, or Heyman in the process, like Eddie did. Like, it does seem more cordial. I will just say that. So in my mind, that's why I think, again, to your point, a trilogy fight is completely within the realm of possibility. It's not like they're hard fights to make, and they're big fights to make. Right?
Yeah.
The combination of those two things just make me think, a trilogy. Plus the draw. It's not like the winner of this fight has some finality to it, like maybe Fury and Spirit. But if Wilder wins, like, come on, like you don't think Fury and Fury fans specifically are gonna be out there in the droves, in the thousands, demanding, hey, Fury arguably beat your ass and he gave you another shot. Like, now you have to give Fury another chance. So hey, all things are possible in this world, man. Let's be honest. Any last thoughts on heavyweight shenanigans there, Rob?
I've just seen boxingtalk.com.
We have two topics to get to, then we're going to get to callers, by the way, people. 323-870-4051. If you're international, add Skype on Mixed Combat Radio. All you UK listeners don't want to call in. It's weird.
No, it's boxing.
Sorry, that was to the listeners, not to you.
Boxing Talk G, that G Leon.
Yes.
Shelley Finkel just told boxingtalk.com April 27th is out as Bronze Bomber versus Tyson Fury date, but that doesn't make May 18th the definitive date. He says he can't disclose other possibilities or if a deal is finally done at this point.
So May 18th, guys, Barclays Center, start getting your tickets.
Basically. I mean, look, I said it yesterday. Seeing Fury on Friday, I'm going to say exactly where am I booking my hotel, but you never know. Loose lips sink ships. But
that is true, man. Snitches get stitches, man. You know what's up.
Snitches get stitches down. I'm just going down on my boat, but you're like cutting people up over there. Damn. God bless America.
God bless America. Anyways, any last points about heavyweights, or you want to get to the last two topics and callers?
Yeah, get to the last couple of topics. I think we're kind of there. Oh no, very quick on the
very quick. Hold on. We had an off-air conversation, Rob, about, and for the people listening, this is what the conversation was about, how Rob steals all of my lines. And I know for maybe listeners, they don't get this because like me and Rob text all the time, but Rob steals all my shit. Like, he wants to be young again, and I get it. So he's stealing all my shit. He's swagger jacking it. But very quickly is always my segue. So, Robin, I was saying, like, trying to remember things that you steal. That's another one. Just want to put down the list.
Anyway, digressing. No, all right. I'll think of my own one. Oh, wait a second, Matt. Something to say a little bit rapid. Is that better?
Sure. No, it's not. Actually, no, it's not. Don't do that.
Eddie did say regarding April 20th, Parker and Chisora is going well. So that sounds like it's but is that the main event? He was like, it could be, but it wouldn't be pay-per-view. And then he said, what else did he say? Something like maybe we can add possibly another world title fight to that. We have missed a bunch of stuff, Matt. We didn't talk about the undercard for AJ Miller.
Well, I'll be honest. I wanted to save that. I know I didn't say this to you because obviously, and I should say this on the top of the show. Today was supposed to be the UK Hour relaunch, but AJ Miller news sort of came in and kind of fucked shit up. So it looks like tomorrow will probably be the UK Hour relaunch. I wanted to save that stuff for the UK Hour, if that's okay with you. Like the the undercard details of, UK fighters. So UK Hour, Patreon.com, 3-day exclusive, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. UK Hour is coming back, but it's on Patreon.com/Mixed Combat Radio for 3 days exclusively. And then it comes down to you guys over on the YouTube side and the podcast side as well. But that's why I did not touch on the undercard rumors and information about AJ and Miller.
Okay. But very quick, back to the April 20th. He was saying how maybe it can run into the Khan fight with Crawford.
Yeah, he's been saying that for a bit, I think.
Yeah, and so it's still kind of up in the air, obviously, since the WBC have ordered White and Brazil. So we'll wait and see how that kind of all comes in. But, he brought up Usyk again. News coming soon, and Callum Smith may still be on there. But, I expect...
I'm still upset about that.
I expect there'll be quite a lengthy Eddie Hearn interview coming soon because I think there's a press conference next week for Joshua Miller. So we'll get more of perhaps more stuff will be worked on, but possibly quite a good card if you're, obviously from this side of the pond.
Mm-hmm. And plus, I think Parker Chisora is a fun fight. Like, regardless,
I like that fight.
Now, obviously, if that's pay-per-view, like that's the headline pay-per-view. Sorry, guys. Now, if that's somehow packaged with Crawford Khan, it's $25 over there. I would be paying for it. But I know the market standard there, like that's the high price. So I would have to put myself in the shoes of like, hey, imagine if I had to pay $75, like our market high price for a Terrence Crawford, Amir Khan fight, which I already do. And on top of that, Parker Chisora. Would I pay for it? Probably because I'm a fucking degenerate and it's a tax write-off. But digressing, if I'm just a fan, no. Fuck that. I'm going to take a principle stance. No pay-per-view. But digressing, I think that's going to be pay-per-view for all fans, unfortunately, as pay-per-view seems to be making a comeback. Digressing, though, Rob, any last thoughts? Let's get to these last two topics, get to callers, because we've had callers ready, including our host, Fugati, who we're going to make go second. Ha-ha.
Does his phone work as well? Or?
Apparently his phone works. Allegedly.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Is it a Google phone or a shit phone?
It's probably a Google phone. Or like the Samsung ones that blow up. Definitely that. Anyways, Mike Covington coming out saying Artur Beterbiev was in talks to fight Solomon Barrera in his first fight of his deal with Top Rank, but that fight is officially dead. After the sides couldn't agree on money per industry sources, Beterbiev will defend his title against a new opponent on early May on ESPN. This is actually kind of depressing. I really like that fight. And last topic of the day, let's go to callers. Check out the IFL interview with Kale Sutherland, basically saying, I've talked to Baranchik, blah, blah, blah. Very good dialogue, because that makes it sound so official. And it looks like the Taylor-Baranchik fight's somehow back on. I still don't know. Like, I still want to hear from Baranchik's team, because this has already happened, where Sutherland and WBSS have come out and said one thing, Baranchik side has said a completely different thing. So now that I've heard Sutherland come out and say, hey, we've had talks with them again, I now naturally want to hear Baranchik's side. And I still want to hear from Regis Prograis again, because Sutherland came out also and said something like, hey, we've talked to Regis Prograis. You're not trustworthy right now. Like, the second we hear you're not paying fighters, like, your reputation goes down the drain in this industry. Hell, like, in any industry, if you're not paying the people that work for you, your reputation goes down. Let's be honest.
I've got some details in the Callum Sutherland interview as well. That the World Boxing Super Series sold the global TV rights to a company that ended up going bankrupt. So that's why the money fell through, and that the fighters that they were paid late.
Sorry, can you repeat that again? Sorry, I missed that. I was reading something.
The World Boxing Super Series sold the global TV rights to a company that went bankrupt. So that's why the money fell through. That's why the money fell through, and why people were paid late, or part paid and stuff like that. But interestingly, when Coogan pulled,
and where are you getting that from? Quickly, just so I know.
The IFL interview.
Okay, that's from the IFL interview. Okay.
Yeah, and it was quite interesting because when Coogan pulled Eddie Hearn, he was actually having lunch and he was actually with Calla Sutherland. And Calla said
You know what that means.
Calla Sutherland said that they have an interesting broadcaster situation.
So, hey, DAZN, Eddie Hearn, Matchroom, welcome to the World Boxing Super Series.
Sky, hopefully, for UK viewers, because
yep.
first season 1, USA didn't have a TV deal. Season 2, UK didn't have a TV deal.
That's hilarious, man.
So, yeah. So maybe connecting the dots, joining it all up, possibly Sky, DAZN. Well, DAZN have already got the World Boxing Super Series, obviously, but whether Sky are jumping on board and this and the other. So whether that kind of influx of money is going to help fighters get paid, everybody calm down, you're going to get your money, Sky are coming or whatever. We'll wait and see how that pans out. But just conspiracy theory / detective work maybe. But yeah.
Anyways, let's go to callers. I'll just
very quick.
God damn it! She's stealing my shit, man. I'm telling you, family out there listening, all of you, the MCR family, you gonna take this? Better be sending him hate mail. Get your own lines, Rob.
Oh, Rapido. Wait. Fight announced. Alexander Gvozdyk. I can never say it first time. Versus. Okay. I'm gonna read it as it seems to me. Dudu and Gumbu.
Oh, we already knew that.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
But okay. I didn't. So
no, we reported that. We reported that. It may not have been like official, but Dan Rayfield, ESPN came out and mentioned that name. So if ESPN has mentioned the name, we talked about that maybe a week ago. I want to say.
It's been a long week. Plus, I would have seen it when Mike Coppinger said it first.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, do we have those tweets? Did you resend that to me?
You go to a caller. I'll get it ready for like.
Okay. We'll go to Gary. He's gonna take 30 minutes. You know that. You have plenty of time to get those tweets. Gary in Dallas, what's up?
What's going on, fellas?
What's up?
First thing to Rob. Did you say gutless Americans before? Is that what you fixed your mouth to say?
Did I? What was I talking about?
I don't remember. Wait, what?
I just wanted to ask you, who won that war, by the way?
The gutless Americans. I don't know what you're talking about, Gary.
Which war?
You played back right before I called in. He said something gutless American.
No, I don't even remember that.
I'll find it.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Gary, calm down.
Relax.
What was it in reference to? Because I didn't even think that I said that.
I was just wondering who won that war. Do you remember, Rob?
Which war?
The one between you guys and the gutless Americans.
Which one?
Anyway, I didn't say gutless Americans. I'm pretty sure I didn't say gutless Americans. Okay. Did I say gutless Americans, chat? Let me know.
Yeah, chat, let us know if Rob's a U.S. hater.
Oh, I'm one of them, but I don't think you're gutless. Look, Big Baby Miller signed a contract.
Yeah, he definitely has a gut.
That's true, figuratively and literally.
So yeah,
Gary,
U.S. people are literally not gutless. That is definitely true. We have highest obesity in the world.
I would never say anything like that. Not with you on the line, and your obsession with one punch knockout power.
I'm really into this fight. Rob, you going to this fight? You said you're going to the Fury fight. Which fight did you say you're going to?
I'm waiting on a little piece of information, and if that piece of information is a big fat thumbs up, then I'll be there for fight week for Joshua Miller.
Okay, I'm thinking about. Have you ever been to a fight at the Garden? I'm thinking about going in to watch that fight. Going to New York to watch that fight. So, yeah.
No,
if you're gonna be there, let me know.
I've never been, but yeah, we'll talk. Definitely hook up.
Ooh, pause.
Oh, come on. Say what you mean, Matt. Don't be a gutless American.
I'm really into this fight. Like I feel like a giddy little. Can you play the OMG? I am so excited. I am so excited This is going to be such a good fight.
OMG, I am so excited.
I'm excited for his fight, too. But I'm really excited. We have 2 heavyweight fights for heavyweight titles, and we don't know who's going to win. What's better than that? I haven't been excited for the heavyweight division since Holyfield Lewis won. That's like 20 years ago. This is the first real good fight we've had in the heavyweight division in a long time. I am so excited. OMG. Rob, you said that this was not the first fight that you would have picked for AJ.
Uh-huh.
Who would you have picked?
Wilder.
Okay, but those guys aren't available. Wilder, okay, all right. I thought we were taking Wilder.
It would have been Dillian White. It would have been Dillian White then. If Wilder and Fury are off the table, then it would have been Dillian White.
Okay, do you think Dillian White's a better fight? Like the White Joshua's a better fight, or do you think White's just more deserving of the fight?
I think definitely he's more deserving,
Both.
and I also
both. It's both. White's a better fight for AJ, like competitively, and also White's more deserving of it.
And for my opinion, which he asked for, I think I think the way White's improved, I don't think it would be quite like the first one. I think it'd be a lot more competitive than the first time around. But I could potentially still see, Joshua winning it and probably knocking White out, because I think he is susceptible to it. But I think he's got a lot better over time.
So, Matt, I need to flip it around and ask you. You said this was the number 1 fight you would have made for Joshua, and I agree with that.
Yes.
But you're saying that you think White's more competitive. Then why would you rather see Miller get the fight than White?
I think I've said this before. I think the Miller AJ fight is the most direct path to a Wilder unification undisputed championship, or Fury if Fury beats Wilder. I think this fight also does more for the division right now than a AJ White rematch. AJ White can rematch any point in their career, and it's going to do numbers in the UK. It's going to be a good fight. That's always going to be there. I don't think it's needed at this point for the division. I'm thinking more of a macro sense in how we get to one champion in this division. And I think Miller AJ is a path to that. Just like a Wilder Fury rematch has to be the fight those two guys make to get to an AJ fight. That's how I see it happening.
Okay, and then I got to go back to Rob. Parker versus Chisora at Wembley. That's what you guys are into over there?
No, O2. O2. No, O2.
O2 Arena.
O2. Okay, so what? How many does that?
That's a 20,000 seater. That's like any sort of like NBA stadium.
Okay. All right, that's reasonable.
Did you hear my Matt impression then? I sounded just like Matt, right?
Yo, stop hating. No, Rob made a joke that was stupid. Go on.
Okay, and that fight's of interest to you, Rob? Parker versus Chisora? That sells out in the UK?
Does it sell out? I think it'll do well. I think it will do well. But yeah, it interests me. I think it's a great fight. I love that fight. I think it's a real good fight.
If that's a good fight, give me an example of a bad fight. Like, what's a bad fight? Like that fight's awful, right? Because I can't think of a less intriguing fight than Chisora versus Joseph Parker.
Yo, but Parker has one-punch knockout power, man. Like you said in the other show.
And Chisora, look what he done to Takam.
Anyone in the heavyweight division at the world-class level. Sure.
Except for Hiri. But anyways,
Miller.
I think the fight is completely serviceable. Like, I don't think it's necessarily going to be like the best fight ever, but I think it's going to be a fun matchup in the ring in terms of like entertainment value. On top of that, it makes sense for both guys' career at this point, arguably. I think it just makes sense in a lot of ways from a business side. And if you're not going to fight one of those guys, how would you match them up, Gary? Like, if Parker's not fighting Chisora, who would you want to fight next?
Parker should go fight. There's a big prospect over there who I think sucks also. What's his name? Fa? Junior Fa? Is that his name? Is that how you say it?
Oh,
go fight that guy.
In Australia? That guy's in Australia or New Zealand.
New Zealand, Australia.
Yeah.
One of the two. Yeah, go fight him. Chisora.
Yeah, but hold on, Gary. You must know.
He becomes irrelevant if he goes and fights in New Zealand again. He just had one in New Zealand. If he goes and fights again in New Zealand, no one's caring.
No one's watching. US TV isn't picking up. UK TV isn't picking up. But also, Gary, you must know that fighting Junior Fogg compared to Chisora is a difference between like 6-figure / 7-figure amounts of revenue, right? Like you know that.
Is it that? I'll be honest. That fight's in April.
Yeah.
I'll watch it later. I'm not changing the Rangers game to watch Chisora versus Parker. I'll watch it later, but I'm not watching that one. I'm not changing the Rangers game to watch that.
Well, it's also a fight not built for you. It's not a fight that's built for you. You have a New Zealand fighter and a UK fighter. Of course, a guy from Texas isn't going to watch it in April. Like that's okay.
It's not all about you, Gary. Boxing is for the world.
If it doesn't appeal to me, is it really going to appeal to the mass? Right? Like if I watch everything,
no, Gary. That's not the question. Like Parker Chisora is not a fight for the masses in the U.S. Yes, no one is saying that. Is it a fight that's going to do well in the U.K.? Yes, Parker has fought in the U.K. several times. He fought AJ, fought Dylan White. Both fights were very successful on pay-per-view and in ticket sales. Derek Chisora has been a long time UK draw.
Dillian White versus Joseph Parker was pay-per-view for you guys over in the UK?
Yeah, it did I want to say it did like 450,000 buys.
Wow. Okay. You guys need to do. You guys got to come up with something better. There's got to be something better to do with your money than pay for.
Hey, Gary. If we had $25 pay-per-views, you would buy Crawford Khan.
I would buy it too.
You would buy Crawford Khan. You know that.
I absolutely would. I guess I have no room to talk. Yeah, that's true. That's really all I got. I got nothing else.
Thank you for the call, Gary. As usual, have a great day.
Very quick. Dillian White versus Joseph Parker says 474,000 buys.
Oh, I was a little bit low. Damn. Yeah. Oh wow. We have another caller that called in. You're gonna love this. Oh, guess who it is?
Free fights.
No, he's not allowed to call in anymore. You know that.
Oh, he's actually live right now. So he's probably waiting.
It's somebody that you used to love to text all the time. From the great northern country. But while you think, let's go to Fugatti.
Oh yeah.
While you're still thinking, let's go to Fugatti in the Dallas area as well. Fu, get a Mac, you bum, you dosser.
What up, guys? What up? Yeah, I know, right? Jesus, I don't know what. What's up, Robbie?
I said your beard's weird. Stop yelling at the mic.
Oh God, dog it. Yeah, Matt had mentioned white noise, so I went all obsessive and tried to move some stuff around, see if I could get it to not work. Not have the white noise, and ended up making it not work at all. So no white noise. That's a plus.
Yeah.
But so you guys talking Miller, Joshua, New York, White Brazil. You're thinking White Brazil is going to happen in the UK is what you were saying, Matt?
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair statement, right? He fought Joshua in the UK, right? So fought over there before.
I just don't think there's any interest in it being in America. I don't know what the interest level is.
Like, imagine what that does at the MSG.
Yeah,
like, what, 8,000 tickets? Like 10,000, maybe 12,000? You know, it's not doing a lot.
Yeah, and I think you're right, too. That the winner will be – oh, God, there's such a delay on the phone. I hate it. The winner will be easier to make the fight with Joshua than Wilder. I really think they're going to have a third fight. Like, just from listening to Hearn and him saying, you know, that realistically they're probably going to have 3 fights between Wilder and Fury, and that White's probably going to get pushed way back. I think White's just taking this path to make himself more marketable and to give himself more leverage against Hearn for the AJ fight. Because I think he'll leverage this as like, I could sign with PBC, get a Wilder fight, or stay with you and you give me the AJ fight and the money I want. And I think that'll just happen kind of that way. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I feel like that's where he's going.
Rob, do you want to talk to your BFF while I'm pulling up these Mike Coppinger, Dan Rayfield tweets?
Hilarious.
Yeah, no, with Brazil White, I just don't see it making any sense being in America. I don't think there's much interest in it. Hearn saying about the 3 fights, I mean, you've got to think that there's some kind of rematch in play with this. Although now it's been ordered or mandated, does that mean there isn't a rematch if it's been ordered? I don't know, but it just looks like we could get a trilogy. And I mean, Hearn suggested that with White, if he becomes the mandatory, and obviously Joshua with the bouts, if he stays with the bouts, they've kind of got the WBC title sort of cornered to some degree. They've got basically 2 bites of the cherry, I guess, or 2 bites of the cherry picker, or however you want to put it. So yeah, I don't know. We will see. But it was a little bit like, oh, damn, he doesn't think the undisputed fight will happen. I know some people will say, yeah, of course it won't, because Joshua doesn't want that fight. He turned down 50 million. And some will say, Deontay doesn't want it. His team doesn't even reply to emails. And so we'll get into that whole Joshua.
That's not to you. That's not to you, by the way. That's just to people who actually still talk about those talking points like it matters.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Carry on, Phil.
No, I was just saying for that. But, no, my larger point is, do you think that White is going down this path with Brazil as a way to kind of leverage and get more money out of his Joshua fight? Because, he really wanted the Joshua fight. He didn't want the payday. He wanted more out of the fight. He wanted more money. So, is this a path for him to maybe he is helping Hearn, right, with getting the AJ, really cornering Wilder in the WBC? But, is this his way to get the payday he wants from Joshua? God, my kid is so loud when he plays.
It's okay. It's not as loud as Gary's kid.
Obviously, if White comes through the Brazil fight and somehow gets the shot at Wilder and he wins that, obviously he's got a much bigger claim for making more money, because he'll have the WBC title. But beating Brazil and waiting to be mandated and then fighting Joshua in the meantime, I don't think gives him, just because he's the WBC mandatory, doesn't give him any more.
Mandatory interim champion. Get it right.
Yeah,
put some respect on his name here. Okay, I'll say this.
50, fuck it, 50-50.
I'll say that, Fu, to answer your point, I think it is leverage. How much leverage it is, I think is maybe a point of argument that we can have, but it is somewhat leverage. And it's more of a, not like, hey, this matters so much, but it's like, hey, AJ, Eddie, I don't need you necessarily, right? I have the Wilder path now that's more direct. It's just, I think, again, it's leverage. How much is it going to be at the end of the day? I don't know. But it is somewhat. I do agree to some level. This does help his case, either with an AJ fight or a Wilder fight, obviously. This can't hurt it. You know what I mean? So it either does nothing or it helps. I'm more inclined to think that it does help in some capacity.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. The other point that I like that Rob made is potentially Loma going to the UK and fighting Crolla in the UK. I think that would be really good for Loma on world superstar status type stuff. I just wonder, is that something you think Bob would do? Since I think could they really potentially put it on ESPN outside of ESPN Plus for that? With the time difference. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I think that would be a great introduction to the UK crowd because Crolla seems to have pretty good fan base over there.
I think the fight's ending up in the UK and it's going to be on ESPN Plus. That's my hunch. Rob, do you want to?
Sorry, no, I was just looking at news. I missed you. Sorry.
Talking about Lomachenko Corolla, whether it's going to be in the UK / whether it's going to be on ESPN / ESPN Plus. What's your thoughts about what Bob Arum would do in that context?
I don't see why he would prevent Loma coming to the UK. I think his fighter has expressed that he'd love to come and fight here. He was here for the Usyk fight. He loved the atmosphere. He loved the whole feel of it. I think sometimes I wonder, these like promoters and stuff like, no, you're not going anywhere. You're staying here. We're doing it this way, that way, or whatever. But I think these promoters are there to work for these fighters, and I think Loma, the trajectory that he's had, pushing himself very early. I think, why not? Why not let him come to the UK? I'm sure Bob has got no worries that Anthony Crolla is going to cause some kind of upset. So sure, go over to the UK. But Bob's not stupid. I know earlier, Matt, you said Bob probably forgot. He's 90 years old, smokes a shit ton of weed, but Bob Arum's Bob Arum. He knows this
not
game.
Not stupid. That's not what I want to sort of put across. I want to put across that like he has a different way of thinking, just generationally speaking. I think he's done a decent job of selling ESPN Plus, but also he's numerous times failed at discussing it, failed at detailing it and what it does, how to do it. He has criticized DAZN at times. Like, he is an old guy, so he thinks like an older gentleman. Not that he's dumb or stupid, just that he thinks differently. He thinks much more of a TV mentality, not a streaming, new age, 21st century, 2019 mentality. That's my point.
I didn't mean you meant he was stupid. I'm just saying I said he's not stupid, and I'm just saying that you sort of said he's like an old man that forgets things and smokes a lot. I didn't mean you were saying he's stupid, but it was very interesting actually. They had an interview with Bob Arum on Costello and Bunce, and they were saying that Bob sort of let it out there how now back in the day you had to go and tour and tell people this fight was happening. You had to do this, you had to do that. He said, but now they've got like a dedicated team, like 8 people out there with social media. You can let the world know, within the a press of a button and X amount of followers and however what they know about something instantly. And so Bob's kind of like, he is in tune with it, maybe not to the degree like some young upstart that's really like got his social media game down to a T and knows this, that, and the other about the internet and whatever. But Bob knows how the market's sort of working right now, and obviously he's a legend in his, in the sport. So I don't see that he would prevent Loma coming over to the UK. I really think we might be seeing this in the UK, but obviously on the flip side, Eddie or whoever will relent, and this will end up on ESPN for you guys over in the States. But maybe that compromise will come into play.
Fu?
Yeah, I think the fight's much bigger in the UK, right? And well, I mean, Loma does big numbers in the US too, but it's a really probably like a packed arena over there versus like here. They sell out on tickets. But the other thing is about the World Boxing Super Series. So I had mentioned that a long time ago, Hearn potentially picking up like the rights to that and DAZN. And so is there a report that that's happening? And then on top of that, the interview between IFL and Sarland or whatever, he seems to think that like if the way he worded it was when Coogan was like, is everything good? He basically said, from our understanding, legally, Baranchik has to fight. So it was more like, it seemed more like he was addressing that interview in a way that was like, you're going to fight or we will take legal action type thing. Is that how you guys read into that?
I didn't hear it because I didn't watch the interview, I'll be honest. That wouldn't be surprising. If that's the way it was worded, like you said, Fu, like not verbatim, but if that's pretty close to how he worded it, he mentioned contract specifically. He mentioned the word legalities or legal or some sort of variation of that word, yeah, I would say it's a safe assumption that, hey, Branchik and his manager are still out with the Russian oligarchs, drilling for oil and doing whatever Russians do, drinking vodka, I don't know. And they're saying, fuck off, Kel Sutherland, go do some more cocaine, allegedly. And Sutherland and Roblox Super Series are saying, hey, we have a contract, you have to do this. And that's still what we have. I still don't see any resolution. Branchik has still not come out and changed his tune, so God knows what is happening with that fight in particular.
I like the fact that it's like legally in the contract. So basically, it's that little bit of money that you've got and we owe you a bit more. You're gonna have to give us that back and some if you fucking walk away from this. So I don't know. It's a mess. Hopefully, we hear something like a statement from Barachek's team or whatever, and we just definitely know something's the Josh Taylor fight's happening, and obviously Inoue Rodriguez. Because that's a great night. And if it's May 18th, like we said on the show, it's a great night for boxing if it's Wilder Fury 2 as well.
Fu?
Yeah, and he mentioned that it was different time zones, so that wouldn't conflict with that. But yeah, I think that's all exciting. I hope we keep the World Boxing Super Series, especially with it looking like Inoue Rodriguez being on the undercard of that, right? I hope I got those names right.
Sure.
I'm listening to my son yell at me in the background. What's that?
Sure, you got it right. Keep going.
Nice. So that being on the undercard, and then obviously Fury Wilder 2 happening, and that's maybe the same night. Yeah, good nights of boxing. So I'll let you guys get back on the show. Sorry I, fucked my computer.
It's okay. You got a PC, man. It's okay, man. You got a PC. We love you still, Fu. Let's go to... yeah. Good point, Rob. Podcast listeners, you're going to have to watch on YouTube to understand what Rob just motioned for. We're going out to the cold, wintry north, probably a blizzard. House probably frozen over. Jose in Canada. Jose, how you doing? Jose.
Is Jose ducking again? Shock.
Well, looks like Jose's on the line, man. Like I said, that winter, man. It's a motherfucker. But digressing, let's get to the last topic of the day, Rob. And it's a topic that we've been wanting to discuss all the show, right? Right, Rob? I think we're both in agreement here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's get to the tea, man. Let's get the dramatic music playing.
Hashtag Coppinger Raphael.
Yo, Coppinger's been dragging Dan on Twitter, man. I fucking love it. But anyways, let's read the tweets. Dan saying, despite a report citing unnamed sources, Joshua versus Miller is not done yet. This is from a while ago, ladies and remember. Per at Eddie Hearn, blah, blah, blah. And we all know that was shade directed at Mike Coppinger. Mike comes out today with the emoji with the little monocle. I almost lost the word there. Monocle. And then Dan comes back with the reply, and petty Dan. And I gotta admit, Mike came out with the pettiness first, so he had the first shot. Dan, I understand him coming back. Dan saying that was 2 weeks ago. Genius, with the genius. Damn. Yo, when somebody hits you with the genius, man, it's over. It's over, Rob. You know that. It's like, I'm done. Nah, just kidding. And then Mike came out, said that fight was agreed to then. It's announced now. Good math. Oh, God. Sniper shot from the tower. Yo, you know how you know when someone loses? When they say this. Dan comes out and says, whatever you say, bro. Don't be mad on me. Yo, man, Oh, man. I wish I could legally play the music of Hello Darkness, It's Your Old Friend, whatever. Right? I wish I could play that music.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
For when he said, whatever you say, bro. Because you can tell he feels so defeated. I love it. And I'll be honest, this is funny. Like, it's hilarious. Like, I have no stake in this fight. I just like seeing people be petty on Twitter, because that's what Twitter is mainly designed for. And plus, when it's, arguably, do we put Mike up there with, now in that conversation with Dan, Lance Pugmire, Kevin Iole? Like, is he now in that bracket?
I think so. I think he's, if anything, been the informed guy over the last few months. I think.
Yeah.
He's Steve Kim, I think, started early. Just around Christmas, he was doing pretty good, but then he's really tailed off.
And plus, Steve Kim's a fucking asshole. So.
Well, okay, Mister got blocked by him.
Yeah. And I've met Mike. He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he looks a big guy as well, right?
He's tall. He's tall.
Yeah.
Fuck. He's like 6'5", man. I didn't think he was that tall.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd say right now, Cop is pound for pound number one, I think.
Wow. Pound for pound number one. I wouldn't say his articles are pound for pound number one, like from a writing perspective. But from breaking news, yeah, I would agree with it. I think Lance or maybe Kevin are better writers, though. I think Kevin just has really bad opinions at times. Yeah, I'll sort of co-sign that. I think, you know what, Mike? This is your moment, man. You're now on that. You're here. You're here, guys. Lance, Kevin, Dan, welcome your newcomer here with the top four now. Mike Coppinger. I gotta say, from my understanding, from my knowledge, maybe older fans will remember in the chat, or you know, maybe call in later in another show and talk about this. But I've never seen Lance, Dan Rayfield, or Kevin Iole ever like beef, right? Like they've always sort of cleared, like they're never talking to each other, they're never socializing with each other. I will say this: Lance Pugmire and Kevin Iole are friends, like pretty good friends in real life, from what I've seen from just seeing them interact with each other. But potential lunatic adding Keith Idek. Keith Idek probably should be in that conversation too.
Oh yeah.
I'll add that. Good point, lunatic. Keith has been killing it in the last couple of years. Okay, so Keith Idek, I'll add him in. But really, we don't see any of them beef. I'm glad we got some beef right now. You know, it's like when like you have a bunch of rappers or like musicians and they don't beef, but at the top. But when they do beef, it's like, yes, it's finally here. I like it, man. I'm here for it all day.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I think Dan's gone a little. He's sort of still in the pound for pound, but maybe he's like Triple G. Just hasn't quite got that knockout in the last couple of years.
Wow, that's such an apt comparison. I love it.
But he's got like a good chin. He takes a lot of flack.
He does, man. He does.
He keeps coming forward slowly, but he's obviously clearly deteriorating and hasn't got that knockout in the last couple of fights.
That's a home run comparison there.
Thanks.
That might be your best comparison in podcasting, like your podcasting history. I will say that.
My history, yeah. Yeah.
Way to go, Rob. Clap.
Although I think didn't we back in the day we done a joint one on a different show where
Name
we compared
redacted.
Someone with an idiot sandwich. That was a great moment.
We compared who with an idiot sandwich?
A certain person with an idiot sandwich. Don't you remember the soundbite? I remember that cracked me up that night. You played the soundbite, the Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah, I know the soundbite you're talking about. Yes.
Anyway,
you can tell me off show because that's name redacted. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's it for the show. Great topic to end it on. Let's see if Jose is called back in or something. Let's go back to Jose just one more time, actually, and just see if he's there. If he's not, we'll move on. Jose, are you there? Jose? No. Okay. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for the show. Hit the like button on your way out. Share the show. Subscribe. Listen to podcast forum. Drop that 5-star review. Final thoughts. Finally, it's here. Finally, AJ Miller's announced. It's official. Hopefully that means we get a slate of fights being official now in the heavyweight division because the ball can get rolling. Similar to Mayweather circa 2012, 2008, 2013. The division waits on the big money guys. And right now, AJ is one of the big money guys, so the division waits on him. But it's official. It's done. And let's now discuss what will happen. Leave a chat or leave a comment below. What you think? Who wins? How do they win? Are you happy it's going to be in the U.S.? Are you happy it's Miller? Are you upset that's not White? Let me know your thoughts, your opinions in the comment section below. I'm Matt the Hipster Hunter. You can find me at Matt Hunter, MCR, all platforms. Rob, where can people find you, and final thoughts?
Yeah, final thoughts. I know a lot of people left a little bit about this, a little, not quite the fight people wanted, but I don't know. If you're a Brit, I don't know, you should maybe feel a bit of pride, that our guy's going over to America trying to make waves and do his thing over there. Obviously, they've built this kind of machine over here in the UK. It's been a massive ticket seller, like something stupid like 500,000 tickets in X amount of fights or something. But trying to do it in America, good luck to him. I think he's not been left with much option with other fights getting made and other people not wanting to fight him. So I don't know what more he can really do about it, but I'm sure plenty of you don't agree with that. So hit me up on UK Rob MCR. Oh my God, look who just jumped on.
Yo, fool, like the outro's playing and you jumped on. The audacity.
Let's see if his mic works. Foo, are you there?
Oh, no, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're talking after the show. He's
Google Hangout and just show my face.
He looks so angry. Yo, you know what? I think he went to the barber. Doesn't look like you got his shit cleaned up. That's good, because it was looking bad there. But digressing, back to you, Rob. Sorry.
Yeah, he hasn't even got his headphones on, so it's cool. Look at him, Chewbacca. Anyway,
fucking casual.
I'm just glad he popped by. But you can obviously enjoy that on the YouTube feed.
No, they can't. They can't see him.
Oh,
it's just us talking about him being here, but they don't know that Fugai's actually here in the show.
Look at him, slicking it back, stroking the award-winning beard.
I'm not talking about Fugatti. He doesn't matter.
No, okay. But yeah, share the show, hit that thumbs up, leave a comment. I try to get back to people on comments when I can. Yeah, share the show. We're trying to grow and keep pushing this thing. So thanks everybody in the chat. Look nice and lively. Bunch of you watching and listening. So hit that thumbs up on your way out. Cheers.
Peace.
I'm gonna make you a star, motherfucker. Are you off your tits? Have you been smoking something?
Hey, pussy, are you still there?